Saipan, called the jewel of the Pacific. It is an ideal tropical vacation destination that offers something for everyone. Golfing, scuba diving, sightseeing, shopping, and more await tourists from throughout Asia. Over 50 years ago, American forces clashed with Japanese forces in the last great battle over control of the island in World War II. Today, a new breed of athletic forces has come to Saipan in the spirit of competition. The war these athletic forces will be fighting today will be the war against time, as they compete in the First Salt Pepperman Triathlon. Endurance sports' finest three events, swimming, biking, and running, will be combined into one grueling race of training and determination on the north point of Saipan. Hi everybody, I'm Ken McKinney with Mike Newman here for the First Salt Pepperman Triathlon. And looks like we're going to have a pretty good turnout here with over 70 people competing in the race. Mike, the course seems to be a little wet today. There need a lot of hills for people to negotiate. Can you tell us a little bit about the course?
Yeah, there's quite a few things that make this course a unique one. First of all, it's spectacularly beautiful up here in the Marpi area of Saipan, so the competitors will have wonderful views throughout the race. The other thing is it did a little bit and the roads are wet, and a number of competitors have told us they're a little bit concerned about the condition of the road, especially on the bike. Most triathlons are done on a flat course in order to give the competitors a chance to get a personal best. This one has a lot of hills. Some of the competitors actually decided to ride their mountain bikes in order to have a better gear ratio for going up and down those hills. So we'll have to watch the hills and see how that goes.
That's right, and today's course will be especially difficult because of the steep hills and the wind the racers will have to face on this part of the island. The competitors will start the race with a 2-kilometer swim in the Pau Pau Beach Lagoon, followed by a 40-kilometer bike race that will take the riders past the last command post up the northern tip of Saipan to the Bird Island and Grotto turnarounds, to the Bonsai Cliff turnaround, and then to the Marianas Resort turnaround, where they will have to do it all over again by looping the course one more time. And to make it tougher, after the bike race is finished, then starts the running event, a 10-kilometer race that starts straight uphill to Saipan's picturesque Suicide Cliff. Here they will take a mandatory rest stop for 3 minutes. This is a tough course, and the rest of the stop is designed to monitor the athletes after the toughest part of the run. After the rest stop, the racers will run downhill to the finish line at the Salt and Pepper restaurant at the La Fiesta San Roque Mall. Special thanks to the following: Salt and Pepper Cafe Terrace, dynamite cooking, come taste the difference. Miller Lite, beer of the islands. Island Farmers Market, only the freshest vegetables and fish. Sugar Dock Market, for certified Angus beef. And Marianas Visitors Authority, who invite you to visit the Marianas 99. Visit our neighboring islands of Saipan, Tinian, and Rota. It looks as if we're almost ready to start the First Salt and Pepperman Triathlon in Saipan. And here we go.
Yeah, and as you can see, the beginning of the race is really the worst part. Everyone is kicking, you're getting kicked in the face, sometimes your goggles get kicked off, arms are flailing around everywhere.
I've experienced that a little bit. It's quite an experience to be in that swim.
Yeah, sometimes you feel like you just can't breathe and you just want to get out of the water and avoid being pushed around like that.
What a beautiful day in Saipan for a race.
Yep, it's gorgeous.
We actually have several races a year, this being the first one of a series of triathlons that are held on the island. The Rota Triathlon and, of course, the Tagaman Triathlon, of which you know a lot about, don't you, Mike?
Yeah, I did 5 Tagaman Triathlons, and that was enough. I think the swim is what caused me to retire.
The swim. That tough, huh?
Yeah, miserable.
Got people in the front, and look, we still even have some in the back.
From my point of view, in the back's the best place to be because you're not getting kicked and pushed around quite so much.
And as a racer, are you able to make it up in the run and in the bike?
Yeah, the swim is my absolute worst event, and if I can just get out of the water alive, I feel good. I usually pass a few people on the bike because my swimming is so bad.
Well, it looks as if we have some leaders already.
Yeah, out in front, number 34 is Justin Udoch from Guam. He's a big guy, over 6 feet, and he's really got a nice, clean stroke. It looks like he doesn't have to work too hard to pull himself through the water there. He's being closely followed by number 2, a woman, Hiroe Sakurai, and number 3 is Masayuki Matsumaru. They're both from Japan, and they're both students of professional triathlete Mike Trees, who's also in the race today.
You see Managaha in the background.
Yeah, nice view.
Look how that stroke, he's so clean. I understand he's a water polo player in Guam. He swims at least twice a week.
Well, he's certainly built for it, and that is a clean, clean stroke. He gets his head out of the water quite a bit, though.
It looks as if Sakurai and Matsumaru have started to pull away and are starting to gain on Udoch.
Yeah, Sakurai's an excellent swimming, and she's competed since she was 3 years old. She's a former junior Olympic champion and was 3 times champion in Japan when she was 13, 14, and 15. She's really going to pull away from the pack here. Look at that fast stroke.
She sure is swimming hard. And coming up behind her, it looks like Matsumaru. Oh, it sure is shallow in that lagoon.
Yeah, the race was even delayed in order to get a little higher tide, deeper water. But as you can see, it's still possible to walk. It's only about waist deep there.
I bet Udoch is scraping his knuckles.
He's got long arms, doesn't he?
Longer than my legs. Before the race, Mike had a chance to talk to some of the competitors. Let's hear what some of them had to say.
Hi, we're here with Yosh Gabaldon. Yosh has lived on Saipan for a long time. Is this your first triathlon?
No, it's the third one.
Third one. What ones have you done before?
I did the Roto one last year and Tagaman.
Tagaman. So how was your time in the Tagaman?
Oh, it was not too fast. It was about 4:20, something like that.
Well, that's a good time for the first time to do a race that long. This one's a little shorter. How do you think you'll do today?
I've been training a lot more now. I've been going out with a friend for the past 2 months, and we hit it a lot harder than we did last year, so I expect to do better.
And what is your biggest concern about this race?
Just about having a good time.
Well, I hope you do have a good time.
Just hope everyone's safe out there because the roads are going to be slick.
Okay, we're here with Henny Manglonia from Rota. There are 3 triathletes, I think, from Rota. Is that right?
That's right, yeah. One is Ed, and the other is Rudy Santos.
And I understand there's Rudy, yeah, thank you. I understand there's no Chamorros from Saipan running. Do you have any comment on that?
Well, I don't have any comment about that.
We would like to encourage them.
Yeah.
Hopefully we'll try it out next triathlon, like maybe Tagaman is coming.
Hopefully we
How are you this morning, Mike?
I'm doing fantastic, Mike, thanks.
And how much training have you done for this race?
Well, not as much as I should have, probably, but I've been training. I train year-round now since the last Tagaman. I've been working out.
I notice you're not wearing a wetsuit. Is that a deliberate decision here?
That's a deliberate decision, yes it is.
How come?
I don't have one.
Peter, you've got a house full of kids and a demanding job. How do you find time to train for something like this?
Well, unfortunately, I didn't find too much time this year, but I'm looking forward to participating and finishing.
Well, you look like you're in great shape. How do you manage that?
Well, Mike, you're a terrific liar. I appreciate that.
And at Mark 2, we have, looks like Hiroe Sakurai has pulled away from both men in the swim.
Yeah, she's an outstanding swimmer. She has kept up that rapid pace all through the race, and she's really pulled away.
We have some of our people watching the race, and here's some of Saipan's finest as they assist with the race.
See some more assistants out there. There's a member of the kayak club on Saipan. They're out in the water to make sure that any of the swimmers who get into trouble will get some help.
It looks as if number 2, Sakurai, has pulled herself into a very big lead, leaving Matsumoto and Udoch farther behind her.
And look at that, she has not slowed down. She's really cranking away there. The 2 men behind her looks like they're swimming towards some shallow water. Now she took a wide turn around that last buoy to avoid this shallow water. We'll have to watch and see if they move to avoid it too. Yeah, it looks like they are swimming around off to the south to avoid the shallow spot.
She certainly has taken a comfortable lead in the swim.
Yeah, her training and coaching from Mike Trees has made a tremendous difference for her. She's a very strong swimmer. She's looking out a little bit more because she's getting close to shore, ready to get out of the water. There she is. She's got a wonderful time, 23 minutes and 18 seconds. She's got a commanding lead at this point.
Next out of the swim are number 24, looks like Justin Udoch and Matsumoto at 24 minutes, almost a complete minute behind the leader. You see Sakurai has made her transition, is ready to start the bike.
There she goes. She's pushing her bike up this rotten road here. It's all full of ruts and potholes. Oops, she has a bit of trouble there. She's barefoot because her shoes are clipped to the bike, and she'll put her feet in those shoes when she gets on the bike.
And now we have in 4th place out of the swim at 25 minutes and 12 seconds, 1998 Tagaman winner Mike Trees.
And you see there he had his number tucked into his swimsuit and he pulled it up around his shoulders for the bike.
Incredible in 5th place and out of the water at 26:16 local athlete Nicole Forelli, followed by her husband Greg Kresge and Saipan Susan Burr. I talked to Nicole a little bit before the race. Did you know that she recently had a baby before she came out the race today?
That's amazing. That was just a couple of weeks ago.
What an athlete.
At 27:38, 8th place out of the swim is Nikki Nichols, followed by number 53, Tice Mister. Both of these guys are good athletes. And I believe that's number 33, Alan Morrison from Guam, another good athlete.
Before the race, I had a chance to talk to Nicky and see how he felt about triathlons.
More than any other group, I think, athletes, whether it's golfers, triathletes, swimmers, baseball players, they come out to places like this, they interact with the local community, you know, with all the volunteers, with all the residents here that are doing it. It's a lot of fun. Afterwards, they feel great, they make friends, they go back to Japan or wherever they're from, they talk about it, they come back again, they bring more people with them. So I think the key is to have a fun event. Not a real fun event everybody enjoys, and I think it goes a long way towards goodwill and to supporting Saipan tourism especially.
You have been called Saipan's favorite son.
No, only by you.
What would you like to say to the community about supporting events like this?
Please come out whenever you can. We as the athletes really appreciate it, and as the sponsors. This particular triathlon, we've gotten a lot of local help. Sponsorship for all the food I put on. A lot of stores came through and just gave me stuff, donated stuff, and it was just tremendous.
And here we've got Mike Trees in 3rd place. And up in front there, I think that's Hiroi Sakurai in 2nd. She's also looking strong. Give us a little wave there.
Back at the swim, we have our Rota contestant, number 41, Rudy Santos, at 35:27. And he's one of the only 3 Chamorro racers here today. Rota having their own Rota Blue Triathlon in April. Behind him is number 31, Nola Shayak, followed by 12, Hideki Ogino. And behind them all is our second Rodanese racer, number 40, Henry Manglonia, followed by Guam's Jeff Miller.
These guys are taking it easy in this transition. This is the first of the really tough riding for these bike racers as they head up the Marpi Depression up toward the Suicide Cliff area. We had Mike Trees overtaking Hiroi Sakurai. You can see how tough this hill is. Look at how she's struggling there, cranking away. He rocks the back bike and forth a little bit to get a little more power. Standing up to get the maximum.
Oh, there's Justin Udoch. Looks like he's having a tough time with his pedals, Mike.
Yeah, some of the racers chose to ride mountain bikes today because the gearing is a little bit lower and makes it easier going up the hills. But the mountain bikes are quite a bit heavier than the road and racing bikes these guys are using. And there's Alan Morrison. He's looking good. He's got a powerful body and he's moving right up that hill. But you can see it's slow going.
At the first turnaround is Mike Trees in second place, followed by Hiroe Sakurai.
See how slowly she goes around this turn. There was a little bit of rain this morning and the roads might be a little slick.
Now we have Justin Udoch. He needs a little bit of water.
Gives us a little toast there. Heads on out.
Mike, what did he just pull out of his back pocket?
It's probably a power bar or some sort of nutritional supplement. In a race this long, your body will end up burning up all the sugar you've got in your blood. So you really need to eat something in order to build up your reserves. If you were not to eat in a race this long, you could end up hitting the wall.
The wall?
Yeah, that's when your body completely runs out of sugar and you start metabolizing fat in order to get the energy you need to keep moving. Once you start doing that, you run into an energy debt and you feel horribly exhausted very easily.
So it's important to keep yourself nutrition during the race.
That's right. You've got to eat something. It's important to drink, but also important to have something to eat.
As Udoch makes his way through the grotto turnaround, we have other riders that made their way through the grotto turnaround. And there we have Nicky Nichols, followed by Tice Mister.
Yep, these guys are moving a little bit slowly around there, but when they come out of the curve, they start cranking. You can see Nicky standing up to get speed up going up the hill. Tice stays seated.
Looking at a wide view of the back of the island, we see our competitors as they head up the Bird Island and grotto turnarounds.
Yeah, Bird Island is straight ahead. The grotto is off to the left there.
And there we have number 59, Dirk Scherer, as he's coming up the hill on his way back down the front of the mountain. You know, this is a very steep hill coming out of the grotto, huh, Mike?
It's deceptive. When you drive this course, you don't realize that that hill is as steep as it is, but you certainly realize it when you try and run up it or bike up it.
Having already completed his turnaround at the Marianas Resort and second leg up the back of the mountain is our leader, number 3, Matsumoto, with a commanding lead over the rest of the pack.
And look how fast he's going on this flat level road here. Looks quite good.
He is definitely hitting some speed there, Mike. How fast would you say he's going?
Gee, maybe 30 miles an hour.
In the meantime, we still have some riders making their second turn around the Bonsai Cliff turnaround.
You can see how steep this hill is.
Having already made his bike-to-run transition, Matsumoto now starts his run with a 10-minute lead on the rest of the pack, and immediately up the hills he goes.
Yeah, he comes right out of that transition, has to run uphill first thing.
And coming in on the bike is Mike Trees, about 10 minutes behind the leader, Matsumoto. He looks comfortable, huh, Mike?
He certainly does. He's got a nice biking style. There he's loosening his shoe, taking his feet out of his bike shoes.
Why is he doing that?
This will make the transition to the run a little quicker because his feet will already be out of the bike shoes. He can sit down, put on his running shoes, and immediately get out of that transition area.
As a professional, he's probably practiced this move time and time again.
Yeah, if you do the transitions can make a lot of difference, especially for the top competitors. Just shaving a few seconds off here and there can really make a difference. He's coasting a little bit as he comes into the turn. There's the sign advising him that the turn is ahead. Coasting again. Not real worried about cranking some speed up now. You can see how the road's a little bit wet. That can be a concern. He heads down this hill and the transition area is off to the right.
There's number 68, Kerry Wickland from Guam.
You can see how she puts her hands out up on the aero bars when she's riding.
Now we have Sakurai, number 2. The first woman racer coming in on the bike. Oh, wow. She's behind the leaders only by about 10 minutes. She also releases her feet from her shoes in order to make a smoother, faster transition, huh, Mike?
That's right. It looks like she's having a little trouble getting things undone there. And she continues to pedal, coasting a little bit now. This bike to run transition can be very difficult. You've been on the bike in one position, moving all your muscles in exactly the same pattern for quite some time. And you're cramped up a little bit, you get off the bike and you immediately have to do a completely different activity.
As she made her bike to run transition on her way down, we see number 33, Alan Morrison from Guam on his way up the mountain.
He's looking good, he had a big smile on his face, and he maintained a great sense of humor throughout this race.
Right behind him, it's Hiroi Sakurai as she starts her run.
She's trying to stay loose here. She's been on that bike for a long time. She's cramped up, so she's trying to make sure that she gets a good start on this run so she won't cramp up coming up these hills. All triathletes have to do a few hundred yards of jogging, not real fast running when you get off the bike and move into that run.
And there's Nikki Nichols, followed closely by number 22, Suumura.
Look how difficult this course is. These athletes have just spent some time on the bicycle and they've got to run up this very, very steep hill. Certainly not easy.
Now we have Morrison, followed by Udoch, and right behind them is Sakurai.
Udoch was walking there. I wonder what he was doing to his shoe.
Already at the top of the long dirt course and heading up the Suicide Cliff is Mike Trees. He's great form, doesn't he, Mike?
He does look real good, and he's drinking quite a bit of water there at that water stop. That's of utmost importance to make sure your body's hydrated throughout this run. But look at how smooth he's running. He's got his arms good and low, good footfall. He looks real strong here.
He's quite a conditioned athlete. Oh, that hill looks tough.
It is. It's on the way to Suicide Cliff and the mandatory rest stop.
Heading for his run is Sumura.
And look at this. Matsumoto has already finished his mandatory rest stop at Suicide Cliff, and he's heading back down the hill to the finish. He looks really relaxed and really smooth. Notice how he swings his right arm a little bit more than his left arm when he runs?
Yeah.
Yeah, every good runner will develop a style in order to maintain your balance and the evenness of your pace. Nobody's built perfectly symmetrical, and so you need to do something like that to keep your balance as you run. Here he's heading toward that aid station where he'll turn right and run down the hill. These aid stations are vitally important, and we couldn't do it without plenty of volunteers.
Just starting their runs up the long hill are number 4, Hiroshi Kishibe, and number 45, Susan Burr. That looks like a tough hill, Mike. Gosh.
It is tough. She looks very nice and relaxed there, though. She's smart to be wearing that hat to keep the sun out of her eyes. She looks very strong.
And making his final climb up to the summit summit of Suicide Cliff is Alan Morrison.
He looks good. There's Hiroi Sakurai right behind him. Morrison's a big man, and he looks pretty powerful coming up this hill. He's getting to that mandatory rest stop.
Ah, that water stop looks mighty comfortable for these races as the heat of the day and the water, as the hill has worn them down as well.
Yeah, I talked to quite a few of the athletes, and they all seem to think that this mandatory rest stop is a good idea. They get a nice drink of water, can take a few moments to drink it. There's a good breeze blowing up there that cools them down, and the rest of the race is downhill from there.
Coming in for her mandatory rest stop is Hiroi Sakurai. Making his final stretch to the finish line is Matsumoto.
Yeah, he's running off the side of the road on the grass in the shade of those trees, trying to stay cool.
Still swinging that arm, Mike.
Yeah, I have a motion like that I do when I run too, so I'm not surprised. I'm not sure why he's crossing the road here. He would be better off to stay on the side of the road where he was, because that's the direction he'll be turning in. He looks strong though.
Incredible as he runs down to the finish line. It looks like we still have some competitors that are still coming in on the bike. That looks like Yoshi Gabaldon of Saipan.
Here he is on his mountain bike, still biking. I wonder how it feels to see the front runner almost ready to finish and you haven't gotten off your bike yet.
Have some people coming in and some people starting their run. What a tough race this is out in Marpy. There's Eric Gilman as he starts his run up to Suicide Cliff.
Yeah, it's pretty disheartening when you make that turn and you look up that hill.
There's the Joker, Russ Quinn.
He's certainly got a nice smile on his face, doesn't he?
Always does.
Already finished his mandatory stop, Alan Morrison takes off on his rested legs. Look at that.
Still fooling around. Great sense of humor.
Playing around with the Doge. Next is Sakurai. She should be taking off pretty soon. She heads off just as Justin Udoch is taking a rest. And we go to an interview with Mike Newman.
So I notice you've got a white face.
A white face?
Yeah.
I don't feel wide right now.
You were walking a little bit.
Yeah, definitely. I have a lot of trouble on the run. This is definitely my worst event. I feel like I drank too much on the bike today and my stomach was feeling heavy at the bottom now. But I just took a while to work it down. Sometimes I figure you just got to be patient. If I push it, I'm just going to make it even worse. So.
And how about that transition? You go from the bike to immediately having to run uphill.
It's hard. It's really hard. Okay. Yeah, you should. I mean, you just need that warm up before you get going. It makes it really tough.
But it's a nice view up here and a nice breeze, huh?
Yeah. Definitely. Thank you. It's great to be here.
All right,
Saipan's a great place for great place for a race.
And there's Peter Sinclair, number 60.
Peter looks okay. He's got his arms held up a little too high for this sort of run. He should get down a little bit more and relax.
As Peter Sinclair starts on his run up Suicide Cliff, we have our leader and our first finisher at the First Salt Pepperman Triathlon, Matsumoto of Japan, finishing at a record time of 2 hours, 23 minutes, and 40 seconds.
He looked good.
Coming in 10 minutes behind the leader is his coach, Mike Trees. Finishing at the finish line is Mike Trees at 2 hours and 34 minutes, 14 seconds.
Fine. There he is, congratulating the student.
Almost 10 minutes behind the leader.
Okay, here we are with the first two finishers. Congratulations, gentlemen.
Thank you very much.
Thank you very much.
And tell me, how was the course today?
今日はどうでしたか？
今日は、very hard.
Well, tell me, what made it hard?
なんで？
ランコースがすごいとってもやっぱ上り坂がヒルクライムがすごい。
On the run course, the climbing up that hill was the hardest thing, he said.
Yeah, those are big hills. How about the heat? Is Saipan hotter than you're used to?
暑さはどう？
暑さはもうとっても暑いです。
Yeah, very hot, he said, yeah.
Yeah, Mushiatsui, huh? So what did you think of the scenery along the way? Did you have time to look?
景色の余裕ありましたか？
余裕はそうですね。綺麗な海を見る余裕はありましたけど、でもやっぱりちょっと風が強かったですね。
He said, yeah, he felt that he was able to look down the view, but he was more worried about the wind. It was a very strong wind.
Okay, just one more question. Will you come back to Saipan for another triathlon?
来ますか？
また来ます。はい、来たいです。
Yes, he definitely wants to come back again.
Okay, well, thank you very much and congratulations.
Heading down on her run from Suicide Cliff is Hiroe Sakurai.
You can see how bad that road is there. It can be real slippery and it's covered with a kind of a fine gravel that makes it even worse. She looks good though.
Looks like she's following close behind Alan Morrison.
There's Alan. Looks like he's favoring his right leg a little bit. Oops.
As he hits that water stop, there's Rudy. He's no matador. Coming into the finish line, number 33, Alan Morrison.
There he goes, pointing to the direction he's going to run, I guess. Which way do I go?
Right there as he finishes at a time of 2 hours, 44 minutes, and 17 seconds.
Look at the build on that man. He's powerful.
Right behind him, seconds behind him, is number 2, Hiroi Sakurai, our first woman finisher of the First Salt Pepperman Triathlon.
She looks good, doesn't she? She doesn't look tired at all. She gave everybody a nice wave.
And heading down the run on the same dirt road is our Saipan's Susan Burr.
Yeah, this gives you a good idea of what bad shape that road is in. She's trying to avoid the potholes and the gravel. She's doing a good job, though. She has a nice, even running style. Very efficient.
She was Saipan's Athlete of the Year at one time, wasn't she, Mike?
I believe so. She's a fine runner.
She runs on a weekly basis and competes in numerous running events on island.
Being followed by a cow and a pickup truck.
Looks like they're heading off for a barbecue.
Fiesta time. This is a nice part of the race for the athletes. They're running downhill. They know they're not far from home. The breeze is at their back, so they're not running into a headwind. And they've got this beautiful view.
We still have some people coming in on their bike.
Well, I guess it just goes to show that we had a few world-class athletes here and a few non-world-class athletes.
Coming down the hill for his pass is number 22, Masato Sumura.
He stumbled a little bit on that bad road, and he's got that wonderful hat that his wife made for him.
The Stegosaurus Triathlon Club from Japan.
Whenever we saw him throughout the race, he always had a nice smile.
And coming down the hill, number 59, Dirk Scherer.
He looks real strong at this point. He's quite fit. Getting directions. I'm surprised more of the athletes don't wear a hat. With the intensity of the sun out there, having a hat on can make you feel a lot more comfortable. Plus, it retains a little bit of the water of your sweat and helps you stay cool.
Speaking of not wearing a hat, is Saipan's own Nicky Nichols.
But look at that running style. He's got a perfect, nice, even foot placement. He's holding his arms just right, not moving them too much. Doing a great job.
What's he pointing to?
Looks to me like he has a shoelace untied there.
And coming in to finish the race in 5th place is number 34 from Guam, Justin Udoch, at a time of 2 hours and 51 minutes, 28 seconds.
Really looks lanky coming across the finish line there, doesn't he? And there's Susan Burr. She looks fine.
A minute behind him, number 45, Susan Burr, at 2 hours, 52 minutes, and 54 seconds.
There's Silly Hatsa Omura again.
Right behind Susan Burr, number 22, Masato Suumura, at 2 hours, 54 minutes, and 51 seconds. And 2 minutes behind him is number 59, Dirk Scherer, at 2 hours and 56 minutes. And look at that, Nicky Nichols,
untied shoe,
limping right along. Number 54, Nicky Nichols, at 2 hours and 57 minutes, 4 seconds.
There you have it, the first Salt and Pepperman Triathlon. As the racers continue to cross the finish line, let's check the standings. The first 4 racers all finished about 10 minutes between each other. This was a tough course, and the uphill run was a determining factor. Matsumoto walked away with the win at 2 hours, 23 minutes and 40 seconds, with Mike Trees of Team Tekai at 2 hours, 34 minutes and 14 seconds. Saipan's Susan Burr turned in a blistering run with a finish in 6th place. And race sponsor Nikki Nichols, manager of the Salt and Pepper restaurant, came in a respectable 9th place. You really have to hand it to all the athletes who even attempted this course. Thank you for joining us. For Mike Newman, I'm Ken McKinney saying see you next time. Special thanks to the following: Salt and Pepper Cafe Terrace, Dynamite Cooking, come taste the difference. Miller Lite, beer for the islands. Island Farmers Market, for the freshest vegetables and fish. Sugar Dock Market, quality Angus beef. Marianas Visitors Authority, who invite you to visit the Marianas 99. Visit our neighboring islands, Saipan, Tinian, and Rota. Beltran Investigation. When in doubt, check them out. White Coconut Computer Services. We do house calls for sick computers. Wireless Security Systems, specializing in business and home automated security systems. And Marianas Cablevision, MCV, unbeatable.